So you can observe here the first system, it is the critically damped system. That means it is a rapid system. So once we apply some displacement to the mass, that is called as initial displacement. And if you release the force, then mass, it comes back to the equilibrium position during very short time. Okay. So you can observe the clear difference between these two types of system. Okay. So again observe. This is the rapid system. Okay, so this is the overdam system. That is the second system. So in the mathematical modeling, actually we are trying to find out that graph of displacement versus time by this equation. So for the overdam system, and second is the critically damped system, both are non-oscillatory. Zeta less than 1, sorry, zeta equal to 1 and zeta greater than 1. Okay. So this graph, which is the displacement versus time, this point is initial displacement. That means there is initial movement of the mass. So this is taken as a x0. So you can observe the slow movement up to the equilibrium position after initial displacement. Okay. And if the system is critically damped, and if you give the initial displacement, same displacement, which is a x0, then this is the rapid movement. So within fraction of second, mass will reach to the equilibrium position after initial displacement. Okay. So this time, it will be very small compared to this time. And that is the difference between overdamped system and the critically damped system. Okay. So such type of system, overdamped system, so these are used in the automobiles to design the shock absorber. Also, they are used in the door closing mechanism. So also they are used in the isolators. So isolators, these are also shock absorbers. So these are for the vibrating machines like compressor, pumps, okay, or any other vibratory machine. So now we have just found out the complete equation for the overdamped system, which is a x as a function of time. Okay. So similarly, for second system, which is a critically damped system, where zeta is equal to 1. So for zeta is equal to 1, both the roots. So if you refer the root d1 and d2, so this d1 and d2, that is from the d operator method, this value is minus zeta plus or minus square root zeta square minus 1, okay, into omega n. So if zeta is 1, this value will be 0, okay. So we will have the root d1, which is equal to d2, and that is equal to minus zeta, that is equal to minus zeta omega n. So it is only minus omega n, okay. So this is the case of the repeated roots. And for the differential equation, if its auxiliary equation has a repeated root, then the general equation for x, it is given as, it is a1 plus a2t into e raised to minus, so actually this is a d1 or d2t. So d1 and d2 both are minus omega n. So I will write this as a minus omega n. Okay, so this is the complete solution. So actually this is a complementary function, and there is no particular integral. So complementary function, it becomes directly the complete solution. Okay, so this is the equation for x for zeta equal to 1, a1 plus a2t e raised to minus minus omega n into 2. Now from this equation, we should find out the constant a1 and a2, so that we will get the exact equation for x, which is a function of time, which will be in this format only. So assume the same initial condition, x is equal to x0 for time t is equal to 0 and x dot is equal to 0 for the same time. So if you put this condition in this equation, then you will get the final equation. You try to complete the solution. So put these values and get the value of a1, a2. So I will write the final equation. X is equal to x0 into bracket 1 plus omega n t and e raised to minus omega n t. So this is the complete equation for x, which is depending on the time. Remaining all the values are constant. X0 constant, omega n constant. Okay. Now if you plot this waveform, which is a displacement versus time, by selecting various values of time from 0 to some finite value, then you will get the waveform like this. Okay. So this is initial displacement x0. And the third equation, which is an underdamped system, where zeta is less than 1. Okay. So if the zeta is less than 1, what is the change on the roots d1 and d2? So this is minus zeta. So originally we had the equation for d1 and d2 as minus zeta plus or minus, it is a square root zeta square minus 1 into omega n. Okay. As zeta is less than 1, Okay, so it may be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, so on. Okay, so let us take zeta as a 0.1. Okay, so zeta square minus 1, this value, it will become, so 0.1 square minus 1. So this is point not 1 minus 1. So this will be 0.99. Okay, and this is minus. Okay, because 0.01 minus 1. So this square root value, which is actually a zeta square minus 1, so it will be complex number, minus 0.99. Okay, and therefore we should write this value for zeta less than 1 as, this is minus zeta plus or minus, I will just write this as minus 1 minus zeta square. Okay, so meaning is same. This is a zeta square minus 1 only. Okay, and after that I will write this in a complex form. So minus zeta plus or minus, so square root minus 1, this is I. So basically this term minus 1 minus zeta square, this is similar to minus 1 square root 1 minus zeta square. Okay, and this minus 1, this value is I, and this is 1 minus zeta square. Okay, so these are the roots d1 and d2. So if we put this root in the general equation of x, so we will get value as a1 e raised to minus zeta plus I square root 1 minus zeta square into omega n t plus a2 e raised to minus zeta minus I square root 1 minus zeta square into omega n. So this becomes the general equation for underdamped system. Okay. After this equation, we should use the initial conditions in order to get the exact equation for x by eliminating this constant a1 and a2. Okay. So before that, you can simplify this equation as it is an exponential term and it is a complex number. Okay. So you can use this identity e raised to I theta, which is a cos theta plus or minus I sin theta. Okay. So by using this identity, you can simplify that equation. So just I will write that equation, x is equal to so you can take this value e raised to minus zeta omega nt common from both these terms. Okay, so we have constant a1 here and a2. So I will write e raised to minus zeta omega n t. So I have taken this as a common. In bracket, the remaining value is constant a1 e raised to I 1 minus zeta square into omega nt plus a2 e raised to minus I 1 minus zeta square into omega nt. Okay, And now you can expand this value by using this identity. So this is e raised to minus zeta omega nt a1 now in bracket cos. So this is square root 1 minus zeta square omega nt. So this is complete angle. Okay. So cos theta. So we should take this as a theta. That is square root 1 minus zeta square omega nt. This total is the angle theta. So this is theta. So cos theta plus I sin theta. So I sin, this is 1 minus zeta square omega nt. So this is the first expansion plus a2 now in bracket e raised to. So this is cos 1 minus zeta square omega nt minus. So as this is minus, so it is minus I sin theta. So square root 1 minus zeta square omega nt. Okay. Now from this equation, so take these terms common, cos and sin. So e raised to minus zeta omega nt. I will write here a1 plus a2 multiplied by cos square root 1 minus zeta square omega nt and plus the second term will be I a1 minus a2. Okay, from this take sin common. So sin in square root 1 minus zeta square omega nt. Okay. Now this term a1 plus a2 and this term I in bracket a1 minus a2 we can assume as a constant. Okay. So take a1 plus a2 as some constant c1 and this I into bracket a1 minus a2 as another constant c2. Okay. So we can write this equation x is equal to, so constant c1, sorry, e raised to minus zeta omega nt. So c1 cos square root 1 minus zeta square into omega n t plus c2 sin square root 1 minus zeta square into omega nt. Okay. Now this equation so we can also write either in the sine function or in the cosine function. Okay, because you see the expansion of sine a plus b. So this is sine a cos b plus cos a sin b. Okay, so same complete equation we can write in the sine function and also in the cosine function. For cosine, we have cos A. So it is cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. So try to write this equation. So x is equal to, I will just write this as a constant, new constant d1 e raised to minus zeta omega nt. It is a sine, which is square root 1 minus zeta square omega nt, and plus a phase angle phi. Okay. So if you expand this, then you will get the equation in this format. Okay. Or we can write the same equation as x is equal to constant d1 e raised to minus zeta omega nt cos square root 1 minus zeta square omega nt plus constant phi 1. Okay. So if you use cosine function, you should try the expansion by using this formula, cos a plus b. Okay. So what is a and b here? So this value is a and this is the b value. Okay. So try to expand this complete term and multiply by this term. Okay. So we will get the similar equation as this equation. Okay. So for the next calculation, that is to get the value of constant C1 and C2, or you can use any one equation from these two equations. Okay, so if you observe this equation, we have two constants only. One is a D1 and second is the phi 1. Okay, and in this equation also there are two constants. One is a C1 and second is the C2. So I will take this as a equation 1 and any one from these two equations as a equation 2. Okay. So for the next calculation, that is to get the exact value or exact solution, I will take this equation as a general equation. So x is equal to constant d1 e raised to minus zeta omega nt cos square root 1 minus zeta square into omega nt plus phi 1. So this is the general equation for underdamped system. Now assume initial condition. At t0, x is equal to x0 and t0, x dot is equal to 0. Okay. So for the first condition, you can directly put this condition in this equation. For second condition, you need to find out the x dot term. That means you have to differentiate this complete equation, get the equation and use the second condition. Okay. And then you can find out the constant value d1 and the constant phi 1 and substitute these values again in this equation. That is your final solution. Okay. So I will give the final solution to try to complete the remaining calculation. So x is equal to, this is x0 upon square root 1 minus zeta square e raised to minus zeta omega nt. This is 1 minus zeta square cos 1 minus zeta square into omega nt and plus zeta sine 1 minus zeta square omega nt. Okay, so this is the complete solution. Now this waveform, if you plot this by taking the various values of time, okay, then you will observe this is the initial displacement, which is the x0. This is a constant. So x0, it can be 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter. Okay. From this, if you release the mass and allow it to oscillate, then it will oscillate like this. So this is the cyclic motion. But for this cyclic motion, the amplitude is continuously reducing. And after some finite time, it will become 0. So this is the stable condition. Okay. So from this point, this is the continuous reduction in the amplitude. So this is the oscillatory waveform. Okay. And what causes this reduction in the amplitude? So this is the exponential term that will cause the reduction in the amplitude. Okay. And if you observe, as this is a oscillatory waveform, okay, so this cosine function and this sine function, they will form such type of oscillation. Okay. So what is the frequency for this waveform? Okay, for free oscillation, if the system is oscillating like this, then the frequency is nothing but the omega n. Okay, because for such waveform, we have the equation x is equal to a sine omega nt or a cos omega nt. So this angle, it will give the frequency. So similarly, if you observe here, then this is the cosine function and this is the angle and this is the sine function. Okay. So if you observe, both the angles, they are same. Okay. So this value, it is similar to this frequency omega nt. So omega for this waveform, this is equal to square root 1 minus zeta square into omega n. Okay. And this frequency, it is called as a damped frequency, which is 1 minus zeta square into omega n. So it is taken as a omega d. That is a damped natural frequency. Okay. So there is a difference between natural frequency and the damped natural frequency. If we add the damping in the system, and for the free oscillation, the frequency of that damped oscillation, it is called as a damped natural frequency. So it is square root 1 minus zeta square into omega n. Okay. And this equation is only valid for zeta less than 1. For zeta equal to 1 and greater than 1, this equation will not be valid because both the systems, they are non-oscillatory. Okay. So you try to complete the remaining calculation. So we will solve the problems on the overdamp, underdamp, and critically damped system in the next lecture. So today we will stop here.